Greetings, Internet. I am Alex, and I do not have a 410 here. Looks like one, though. We should have probably taken the grill off of the video. It will now appear without the grill. This is our Super Twin. We've been making the Super Twin since 2013, 2014, something like that, with hardly any changes. So it's one of our original 12XN cabs with our incredible, unique 12XN speakers. It handles tons of power. It's very accurate. It's got a kind of typical bass cab feel in the lows. It doesn't go crazy low like a big twin or a big baby, but it can move a lot more air. So people replace 810s with these. People replace big stacks. It can go low. It just, yeah, so you can use it with a very low tuned bass. This is tuned down to A. You could totally go with something lower tuned or synths or octaves or whatever, but it still sounds and feels like a bass cab in the lows. And for years, I mean literally years, people have been saying, can you make me a Super Twin that I can put my SVT on top of, my whatever wide valve amp with it? And also people say, can I have a Tolexed one so I can have it in custom Tolex and custom things like that, so it looks groovy. And I've always been stuck about what shape to make it, because the reason the Super Twin is this shape is because vertically aligned drivers are more optimal in terms of lateral dispersion. Now, 2x2 drivers, like in a 410, are not optimal, and that's why we have a crossover in our 410, 610, 810 to solve that. So the puzzle is, how do you make a wide Super Twin without it being unnecessarily big? And we basically went with a diagonal approach, because they're actually sufficiently offset that you haven't got side-by-side drivers bothering each other. And what kind of tipped the balance with this is I was talking to Cass from Skunk and Antsy about rigs, and he's actually got literally my big baby and his 210 in his living room, and he's borrowed some 110s that he's used on record store stuff, and he was looking for stuff for his big rig, which this summer, because we were all a bit late with it, he ended up going out with his big Edens that he's had forever, 2 810s. And I was thinking, well, if you're playing big stages, having optimal dispersion doesn't matter, because you're miking it and there's, you know, wedges and side fills and in-ears and stuff like that. But what would be really good is if we can provide a 212 that fits in a flight case along with our 410 that he already had for an 810, so you don't need any more flight cases. So it's essentially, if you're used to running 2 810s as your big rig, can we provide something that is either 2 410s, 2 212s, or a 410 212 mix? This is sort of for wet, dry, clean, dirty mixes, not because you need ones for different bits of the frequency spectrum. Can we fit them all in the same flight case and end up with a really convenient touring solution, which means it sounds better than the old rig? You don't need to buy a new flight case, and you can leave one of those flight cases behind, which matters because touring is expensive. So anyway, we did it. It's the Super 24. It's the same internal volume as a Super Twin. It's the same port tuning as a Super Twin. It's just shorter and wider. I can't remember if it's the same depth or not. They're very close in depth. It's the exact same size as our 410. Though our 410 is a hybrid resonator. It's an entirely different animal internally. So same on the outside, completely different on the inside. You can have it with or without a tweeter. This one has a tweeter. And playing through it next to the Super Twin, I can tell you they sound very, very, very similar. And I believe the only reason these two examples sound different is this one has new drivers in, and this one is some years old and has gigged a lot. It's toured a bit. It's had a lot of loud rehearsals. Yeah, so it's been used plenty. So anyway, I have the oldie custom 5-string. Funnily enough, this is actually, apart from being a bit mouldy, bridge pickups in 60s jazz position relative to a 36-inch scale. Neck pickup is basically in P position, and I'm running them in parallel. I've got a four-way switch, courtesy of Dingwall many years ago, because I was too scared to go with a fan fret bass, because when I got this built, there weren't any fan fret ones around in the UK as far as I could find. Dave's going to do some switching. To be honest, I lost track of which one
Yeah.
we were switching between.
Yeah, I
So
started-
essentially,
yeah.
if you've always wanted a Super Twin, but you really, really like playing through your SVT or your Mesa 400 Plus or Orange 8200 or PVG. Do you remember the PV Classic 400?
No.
They didn't make many. I think quite a few of them blew up. They weighed as much as the moon and they were 400 watt, all tube.
Damn. I had the PV Classic 30, the guitar amp. The issue with the Classic, the Classic 30 was that it was a very, very good replica of a Tweed valve amp, but it was built so poorly that you'd have to get it serviced every year or two.
That is so un-PV. Most PV stuff.
I don't know if that's a joke. Or
No. PV stuff generally, it was always a running joke, certainly when I started playing in bands, is the problem with PV gear was it never breaks. So you're just stuck with it forever. You never have a reason to replace it.
Yeah.
And it'll always sound adequate. And they have made some actually really good sounding gear and really clever ideas and stuff. But they've made quite a lot of unbreakable mediocre gear. But clearly that was a good bit of gear.
Yeah.
It was breakable.
Yeah.
PV by Lotus.
Yes. Great. Did you want to do a different bass and some dirt, or do you think you'll keep on?
Let's do some, shall we, more conventional bass?
Yeah.
So we've got the tweeters off now. Is that right?
Do you want them off? Or
Yeah, let's take them off.
Take them all the way off.
Tweeters all the way off. From the big bass to the little bass. 36 down to 30. And a machinist on fuzz.
Oh, just on fuzz. Cool.
Yeah. of rock.
I think having the drive, like we say with the drive, like the guitar demo speakers, that's when you really start to more the characteristics come through, and that's where you could really tell that these have been bedded in a bit more. We've got a lot more deepness.
Yeah, they're fatter and smoother, aren't they? I think when they're.
But I think for what you were playing, I mean, obviously because we've got like the parallel switch on the machinist, so you're getting some of that clean signal coming through.
Yeah.
I think I actually preferred, in a way, the sound of the Super 24 for what you were doing. It felt more, but then maybe.
Yeah, I think it's the sort of changes that happen. They change quite fast. You know, loud gig or two.
Yeah.
And then they sort of settle in, and then they stay sounding like that forever. And they get a bit fatter, a bit smoother, a bit more like they're meant to be. And the transient response tidies up a bit.
Yeah.
Despite the extra fatness. It's kind of weird. We had a player somewhere in the US, California I think, who was a really good bebop bassist, but on electric bass. So playing fretted, I think, electric, bebop and soloing a lot. And when he got his Super Twin, he wasn't convinced with it. He was like, oh, it doesn't sound right. And I was like, well, try this, try that. And I think maybe, because he sent me a clip of it and, you know, he's playing, and I was like, just give it a bit of time. And then he emailed me a few weeks later going, it sounds amazing. And I did say, can you send me a clip of it now? It sounds amazing, because he'd done all these recordings and he never did. Because it would be quite interesting to be like, okay, that is the change in the it's just the suspension loosening up on the cone, and then the suspension round the surround round the cone damps the sound that's heading out from the voice coil.
Yeah.
So the sound starts at the voice coil, and ideally you just want it to come out and head off into the air, but inevitably some of it hits the edge of the cone and ripples back, so the better the damping is on that surround, the better it behaves. But you can't have a super soft surround on a pro audio driver like these, or the driver wouldn't move in a straight line. So it'll sort of flubble around hopelessly.
Nice.
This is cool. Note that we're going through a tone hammer here, which is not the cleanest, purest amp in the world. I always notice when I play through them, I'm like, that sounds like an Aguilar tone hammer. So not for everyone. So if you hear that and be like, it's a bit fatter and rounder and not as precise as I'd expect, I'm like, well, that's why. So it's a great coloration for a lot of players, the tone hammer, but it's not the sound for me. David likes it, it's his.
Yeah, I mean, I got it because it was kind of an industry standard.
Yeah, I can see why it is an industry standard.
But it works particularly well because I used flat wounds on the P. And
shall I grab your P and do a bit with it?
Yeah, or if, I mean, I'm used to playing it. I can play a little
that's
bit
a good idea.
Yeah, originally I was playing the 310T that we had here, which was great because it kind of coloured in a really nice way, quite tight, and then when I switched to 12s, I wasn't sure if I liked it, especially with the combination of the Aguilar and the P with flats, which I kind of use it because it's my main gig. It works well with it, but with the right tweaking and also using getting the Cali 76 compact bass, it's kind of helped round it out a lot more. My head's not being cut off, is it? Okay, I think it's fine.
David's inspection pit. So one thing we probably haven't mentioned is we're leaving these premises soon. We're going to have to build a studio in the new place, which is going to cost loads of money, which is annoying. But one thing we will make sure in the new studio is there is nothing that buzzes. And this sign was built for a show years ago. And yeah, it's definitely a culprit when things get loud. But hopefully, if there's an annoying buzz coming through on the mic, we'll put up a sorry, annoying buzz. It's not the cabs.
Yeah. I was loving playing through this as well because I was used to, like I said, I was playing Super Twin T for a while, and then switching to this, even though, like I said, the drives are still kind of being worked a bit, they still need to settle. I love the sound bit, and also one thing that's worth noting for anyone that is a 410 user, because I always found it a bit deceiving if I'd bring a 410 in here to take photos. When I pick it up, and be like, oh yeah, you forget that there's 4 10-inch drives in there.
Yeah, and 4 ceramic magnets on our 10s.
Yeah, so I looked at this and thought, okay, I'm looking at it like it's a 410, and again, like all the cabs, just another one-handed one. I'm making it actually look a lot harder than it is because I've just
Dave's knackered his back, and he's still picking it up like that.
Yeah. It's so much lighter than it seems, and it's just a lot. It's just brilliant.
There we go.
There we go.
Super 24 for all your valve amps, retro looking, touring in a flight case with another one because you're sick of taking 2 810s with you. All those sort of options. We'll still make the Super Twin. I'm sure we'll continue selling loads of the Super Twin relatively. Super Twin, a bit more convenient to cart on your own a lot of the time. Has wheels.
Yep.
I think the weight's basically the same. They're so similar, aren't they?
They are. That is incredible.
You can have a steel grill with that. You can have a black cloth grill. That's the standard sort of options. And then obviously, because we've got Tolex rather than our textured paint finish, you can go custom. So all sorts of finishes.
Yeah.
Yeah. And tweeter or not tweeter. I imagine most of them will be not tweeter. Don't know.
Yeah. Don't know.
Yeah. Anyway.
Great.
We're pleased with that.
I've
been trying to decide. It's literally been... Well, I remember someone emailing me about doing a wide version of the Super Twin, their head, before we moved to these premises. And we moved here in summer 2014.
Wow, okay, so...
It's always been like, what size shape do I make it? So thanks to Cass for kind of giving me the impetus to be like, that is the final reason.
Yeah.
410, flight cases, touring, convenience.
How's he doing
Keep the big rigs touring.
How did you say he's using it again? Did you say he's using like a wet dry rig?
Yeah.
So wet going through the 12s, I assume?
Not sure. I think he's literally sort of in a transition phase because I think they've finished this tour and then they've got the 2. But it's these big old 810s he's always used, so I can imagine it's going to be a kind of figuring it out process. But he really likes the 210 Big Baby pairing. I think he tends to run the dirt through the 210 and the clean through the Big Baby. So I imagine a similar approach with this. But yeah, I'm really coming round much more to the idea of mixed speaker rigs for bass, but not for frequency splitting. That's where there's no point. You do not need to buy amp 410, 115, but wet dry, clean dirty, or just using different speakers to add different characters and add more thickness to take up more space. I've originally came from a place of always wanting immediacy and coherency and absolute kind of precise slam. So as soon as you mix drivers, you get less coherency and a bit more blurriness.
Yeah, okay.
But that can fill out a mix really nicely. Absolutely. So it was that kind of thing. But it involves not being the bassist at the front, it involves being the bassist at the back. Yeah. And I've always liked being the bassist at the front, but not everyone gets to do that all the time.
Yeah.
So the mixed drivers allows you to kind of claim different zones of the frequency spectrum. That's my thinking anyway.
Nice.
Yeah.
Great.
We should be back.
With more.
At the rate we're going, actually, we've... A bit more backstory behind all this. We've spent literally a year fighting with landlords, councils, etc. about these premises, trying to find new premises. It's been unbelievably complicated. And I realise we have so much stuff backed up that we've been waiting to release and tell people about and stuff because we just haven't had time to do it. And now suddenly I'm like, all that stuff all those models that are kind of almost finished, and amps as well. The amps are nearly there, but things keep getting pushed back because we haven't had time because we're sorting out leases and legal stuff and just all the really boring stuff you never wanted to deal with when you started a business by accident. Well, whatever your business plan, no one ever wanted to do the legal stuff. No one ever likes to do the accounts, but it's just the nature of the business. But yeah, loads more cool stuff coming. So yeah,
Absolutely.
keep an eye out. Join our mailing list
Yes.
because you will find out first about it. And you can then avoid being stuck on Instagram and YouTube and Facebook because we'll tell you about things via the email.
Yes. Link to the mailing list will be in the description.
Cool. Right. See you next time. Thank you. Goodbye. Alex and Davey. Barefaced. Yeah.
Bye.
Rock and roll.